What's up, everybody? It's Nerdicane here again, doing my second video of the day. I've got time. I'm kind of ahead on homework right now, so I can do videos. I might even get a third one done today. It depends. We'll see. Doing New Mutants #1, Dead Souls. This is a one of 6 miniseries that Matthew Rosenberg is doing. I believe there's been sort of Comicsgate issues with Matthew Rosenberg before, but I want to preface this. I have a soft spot for the New Mutants. I loved the New Mutants. If you don't know what the New Mutants were, they were sort of this spin-off young X-Men team. And they got into these sort of strange paranormal adventures back in the 80s and 90s. And, you know, this is how healthy comics were back then. Even for like a small spin-off team with no real oomph to them as far as character-wise, it had 100 issues. It ran for 100 issues, and then it wasn't canceled. It just became X-Force. And the problem with becoming X-Force is once it became X-Force, it was in the hands of Liefeld. It was basically just like every other X book in that era. Actually, it was probably worse than other X books of that era. Because if I remember, the X-Men, Uncanny X-Men and X-Men of that era were pretty damn good. But looking back at now, the first like 12 issues of X-Force, I'm like, yeah, was this good? Was it really as good as I remember? It wasn't. But back to what we're doing here. Okay, so this is New Mutants. They've kind of reformed this team. They're not under Xavier anymore, and they're still doing. This is a paranormal story. This is like a zombie story, and it's pretty darn good as like an X-Men X-Men versus zombies, paranormal. This is actually a pretty good story. Oh God, every time I look at that, I'm just like, what a mess this is. This is assemblage of art. This is like from a kiddie sticker book. This is like an indie comic. This is Vision and Iron Man mashup. That's gonna be bad. Okay, anyway, it's horror. It's so bad it's distracting. So there's the credit where credit's due. Right here I have issue with this artist. Now, if you get into it, this very much looks like the 80s comics, the 80s and 90s New Mutants comics, except, okay. This is Boom Boom. She looks all right. She looks very much like a modernized version. This is Wolfsbane. She looks all right. She looks very much like a modernized version. Guido, Strong Guy, and Richter. This is Illyana Rasputin. This is Magik. This is Colossus' sister, who do a Google search of Illyana Rasputin, and you will find that she is a strikingly beautiful Russian blonde. In this book, they've chosen to draw her like that chick from Chappie. Take time, pause, go do a Google search, that chick from Chappie. And she's like a white South African rapper. And yes, I'll say that again. She's a white South African rapper. This is like a bowl cut mullet. Oh, this is so bad. I mean, I didn't know who this was. I was like, oh, well, cool, Magik's in this. And it took me a couple pages to realize, oh my God, that's how they're drawing Illyana Rasputin. So anyway, they find a cat, and they turn the cat from a kitten to a cat because she can make things. Time works differently in Limbo. Time works differently in Limbo, and that's where she sent it. So the kitten goes in, and if you know anything about X-Men lore, and if you know anything about Magik, Limbo is like hell. It's full of demons and like all sorts of weird crap. So she sends the cat there for like a year, and the cat, look at this expression on this cat's face. This cat is mentally scarred by sitting suspended like this in limbo for a year. That cat is not the same. So I thought that was funny. It kind of shows kind of a sociopath. So we get here, they're rescuing people, and once again, the people in this book don't have reactions that normal people have. Like, Guido pulls this house off of them, this collapsed house off of them, and they just run away, and they're like, oh no, don't get us, monsters! People wouldn't have reactions like that. They'd be like, hey, thanks, but this was keeping us safe from the zombies. Yeah, I'm going to skip some pages, not a whole lot. Oh, look at that. Ilyana Rasputin, everybody. That's how she's drawn. Go to, do a Google search for J. Scott Campbell's drawings of Magik, and then compare it to this, and oh, look at that. You just need an Adam's apple right there. And this is a completely different character. Oh, so bad. But, Voodoo Lady. So, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to skip over some pages for you. This, it's written really well as yeah, I'm going to skip over to the end. That way I don't get a copyright strike. And I want you to go buy this. I think this is pretty good. This is a buy. I could recommend this. This last part, so they're doing all this stuff, and this team is written with, and I don't know if it's on purpose or just by accident. The team is written with a communication problem. And if you read this part of the comic, the fight, you'll be like, okay, yeah, this team, if they're a quote-unquote team, they have a communication problem. So here's kind of the exposition of, like, she was conducting an investigation the whole time, and she didn't really let the team in on it. So she could have been like, hey, I'm seeing all this weird voodoo magic, Norse magic stuff. If you guys see anything like this, let me know. So she's doing an investigation. She wasn't telling the rest of the team. But look how much dialogue is on this page, and they're explaining what she was doing in the situation and things like that. And then it continues into the next page, and like right about here, it just became word soup. It was just like, burr, 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 burr. I just kind of tuned out, and then suddenly they left, and I had to go back and read why they left. I'm like, oh. But cut to this. This is in classic X-Men style. If you remember the old X-Men books, when they wrapped something up, there would always be this little prologue that would lead into the next storyline. And that's what this is once again, some kids are fighting. I don't think kids fight. Do kids fight anymore nowadays? I remember when I was a kid, you would get fights like this all the time, just little skirmishes, because this group would like egg these two guys on, and they would wind up having to fight because of it. I remember that when I was a kid. I don't think kids nowadays really fist fight. It's something really thing, and it's over him being a mutant. Probably just did a face reveal. I dropped the camera. So this is over him being a mutant. And they're like, you're a mutant. He's like, no, I'm not. Okay, if you're not a mutant, go tell this weird dude out in the cabin with a yard full of dismembered baby dolls that you're not a mutant. It's so weird. This would be like Tim Doyle accusing someone of being a conservative, and then the person being accused would say, no, I'm not. And then Tim Doyle would say, okay, prove it. Go to Kieran Shake's hovel apartment and tell him you're not a conservative, because he eats conservatives alive. I don't know where this is going. There's probably there's probably Wolverine in there. I don't know. Or an Infinity Stone or some craziness. But it's a cool book. It's like zombies versus X-Men. And it's an interesting story. It would have been an interesting story. Oh, I had another problem with the art. And this has been a problem that I've kind of pointed at a lot in Marvel books for months now. Ilyana Rasputin is basically drawn like a weird emo, genderless. I don't know. It's just mess. It's a mess. She's drawn like a mess. Don't draw her like that. That's really off-putting and just horrible. This bowl cut mullet. But Marvel Comics, nobody does backgrounds anymore. Like, look at this. No background. No background. No background. Nothing in the background. Once again, nothing in the background. Nothing in the background. This is an action sequence, so that's fine. This is, you do this. This is kind of no background, no background, no foreground. And once again, we had this, but then in that same spot, you could have just zoomed in on this. I don't know what you know. Seriously, no background, no background, no background. And once again, splash page. Skipping some pages, but you get the idea. Like, Marvel has artists, and they have a backlog of art that they own. I don't see, somebody needs to archive, like, Cityscape in the morning, Cityscape at night, and it's just an archive of, like, these backgrounds that you could pull from, even if it's just stock stuff that you could just insert. I mean, it's just like, nobody at Marvel does backgrounds anymore. You just get these, like, flat colors with nothing in the back. Look at that. Oh, this is just like, I look at this and it's just like horrible. But that's an issue I've had with the art in Marvel, and you know, from what I hear, that they don't really pay anybody anymore, so that's probably why you don't get a whole lot of backgrounds. But those two issues aside, I love the New Mutants. I'm gonna pick up number 2 and follow it. Hopefully it won't go off the rails anytime soon and inject politics or anything ridiculous in it. But it's an interesting book. It's an interesting story. It might be going somewhere kind of cool. I like the whole paranormal investigator X-Men team. That could lead to some really cool storylines. I recommend it. Go check it out. It is $3.99. It's not bad. Not a bad comic for $3.99. It's a pretty good zombie story. They make there's a joke in there about Walking Dead. It's just like it's not. It just falls kind of flat and dumb. But I'm Nerdicane. Thanks for watching. Hit a like. Hit a subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter. You can always talk to me there. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Go get this. Go check it out. It's actually a pretty cool little book. But thank you. Have a good day.